Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joshua Smith, and I have the privilege of being your instructor for today's presentation. We are about to embark on a journey into the heart of American history, exploring the American Revolution through a fresh lens, one that takes into account the diverse social classes that shaped this pivotal period. American Revolution is a story we've heard many times, a tale of ideals, bravery, and the birth of a new nation. But today we're going to delve deeper. We'll venture beyond the standard narrative, beyond the familiar heroes and battles, to uncover voices and interests of those often overlooked: the merchants, the middle class, the underclass. Our objective is to understand how different social classes perceived and influenced the American Revolution. We'll examine the motivation, the interests, and complexities that existed within each group. By doing so, we aim to challenge the traditional narrative and offer a more nuanced perspective on the critical chapter in American history. Before we begin, let me set the stage by briefly introducing you to the social fabric of colonial America. Understanding the social structure of the time will help us appreciate how the interests and viewpoints of various social classes played a pivotal role in unfolding of the American Revolution. So, without further ado, let's journey back in time to colonial America, where we'll explore the lives, aspirations, and concerns of the different classes that shaped the course of history. The American Revolution is a pivotal chapter in American history, commonly depicted as a struggle for freedom and self-determination. However, today we're going to explore an alternative viewpoint. We'll investigate whether this revolution was, at its core, an uprising driven by the economic interests of merchants, or whether the underclass might have experienced different outcomes had the British rule continued. In colonial American society was characterized by economic disparities. Merchants occupied a central position in trade and commerce, amassing considerable wealth and influence. However, these colonies were subject to British economic policies, including taxation and trade restrictions, which generated resentment and discontent among colonists. Understanding the social structure of colonial America is essential to grasp the dynamics that influenced perspectives during the American Revolution. Colonial society was hierarchically structured with distinct social classes. At the top were the gentry, comprised of wealthy landowners, plantation owners, and influential merchants. They held significant economic and political power. The middle class was skilled artisans, small landowners, and professionals. They enjoyed a degree of economic stability and social mobility. The underclass, which was the focus of our analysis, was made up of diverse subgroups, including small farmers, laborers, and enslaved individuals. They faced economic challenges and limited access to political influence. Should also be mentioned that we're going to talk about Native Americans who lived outside of the colonial structure in towns, but also were influenced by the events and had a place within American society. The landowning gentry in colonial America occupied the highest rung of society, exerting significant influence over both the colonial economy and politics. These individuals were characterized by their vast land holdings, often maintained through the labor of enslaved individuals. They held prominent positions in colonial government, serving as colonial governors, legislators, and judges, enabling them to shape colonial policies. The gentry class dominated the colonial economy, deriving income from agriculture, trade, and investments. During the American Revolution, they were concerned about the preservation of their property rights and wealth, making them cautious about radical revolutionary changes. The gentry had grievances with British taxation policies, particularly policies that affected their economic interests, balancing loyalty with Britain, where many had personal ties, with aspirations for local control and self-governance, was a challenge. Merchants in colonial America formed a vital and influential class, shaping both the colonial economy and political landscape. These individuals were characterized by their economic success, engaging in trade both domestically and internationally. Their activities generated substantial wealth. Merchants exhibited an entrepreneurial spirit, pioneering new trade routes, developing networks, and contributing to the growth of colonial cities and ports. They played a critical role in the cultural exchange, facilitating the flow of goods and ideas between the colonies and other regions. During the American Revolution, the interests of merchants were multifaceted. They sought economic autonomy, aiming to gain greater control over trade routes, reduce British economic restrictions, and maximize their profits. Merchants desired political representation and a voice inside colonial governance and economic policies, recognizing that their economic interests were closely tied to political decisions. Navigating a delicate balancing act, merchants had to reconcile their economic self interest with their allegiance to the revolutionary cause. Merchants played key roles in financing and supplying the revolutionary effort, making their interests and actions crucial to the outcome of the American Revolution. The middle class in colonial America represented a diverse and dynamic segment of society, comprising of individuals with various professions and roles. Skilled artisans, including craftsmen and blacksmiths, brought specialized skills to their communities. Small landowners were often engaged in agriculture, maintaining modest plots of land. Professionals like lawyers, doctors, and clergy provided essential services and played integral roles in colonial life. During the American Revolution, the interests of the middle class were shaped by their unique position. Economic stability was a primary concern, as many in the middle class sought opportunities for upward mobility and the security of their livelihoods. They desired a more significant role in colonial governments and representation, advocating for a greater say in political decisions. The middle class often embraced revolutionary ideals of liberty and self-determination, although they approached these ideals with pragmatic considerations. The underclass in colonial America was a heterogeneous group, consisting of various subgroups with distinct socio and economic conditions and aspirations. Many small farmers were deeply connected to their lands and livelihoods. They might have supported the revolution if they saw it as a means to secure their property rights and gain economic independence. Subsistence farmers often had less at stake in the conflict, but could be influenced by the actions of their neighbors and the broader community. Their perspectives may have been shaped by the local context. Unskilled laborers working in various trades were concerned about job security and wages. The disruption of war and the economic uncertainties could have made them cautious about supporting a revolution. Enslaved individuals had a complex range of perspectives. Some saw the revolutionary ideals of liberty as a potential pathway to their freedom and supported revolution. Others feared that independence might not bring an end to slavery and could even lead to harsher conditions. Some Native American tribes aligned with British during the Revolution. They viewed British rule as a buffer against westward expansion by American settlers, which threatened their lands and autonomy. When considering the benefits and drawbacks of independence, it's important to recognize that those perspectives varied not only by social class, but also within the classes. While many merchants anticipated economic gains and increased control over trade, smaller traders might have worried about the disruption of established trading relationships and costs associated with the war for independence. Wealthier landowners may have seen opportunities for expanding their land holdings, but small subsistence farmers might have been concerned about the upheaval of war and its impact on their livelihoods. Skilled artisans might have hoped for greater economic opportunities in a more independent America, while unskilled laborers may have had concerns about job security and wages. Enslaved individuals had diverse perspectives. Some hoped for revolutionary ideas of liberty might apply to them, while others feared that independence might perpetuate slavery or bring harsher conditions. And the Native American tribes saw the British as a threat, well, some did, and aligned with the colonists, while others saw opportunities to protect their interests through alliances with the British. The outcomes of the American Revolution had differential effects on various social classes and specific groups within those classes. Some merchants did indeed benefit from independence, as it provided opportunities for expanding trade networks and establishing new economic partnerships. However, there were those that faced financial losses due to the wartime disruptions. For farmers, wealthier landowners had the potential to acquire more land and wealth post-independence, while small subsistence farmers faced challenges in rebuilding their lives after the war's disruption. Skilled artisans found expanded job opportunities in the post-war economy, but unskilled laborers often struggled with unemployment and inflation. The outcomes for enslaved individuals varied. Some gained freedom through their service in the Revolutionary War, while many continued to endure the horrors of slavery, especially those in the South. Native American tribes experienced mixed outcomes. The post-revolutionary period saw westward expansion and increased pressure on indigenous lands, leading to conflicts and dispossession for some tribes. In concluding our class-based analysis of the American Revolution, we've uncovered a rich tapestry of perspective within and across social classes. The benefits and drawbacks of independence were deeply nuanced, influenced by individual circumstances and economic factors. By examining these specific perspectives, we challenge the notion of a uniform revolutionary experience and encourage a more nuanced understanding of this pivotal period in history. I hope you liked this, and thank you for checking out this presentation. Good day.